Does your doctor even read your medical records before your appointment? Now, we know that healthcare has been struggling across the board globally.
I said yesterday I didn't like to get too excited because every time I get really excited thinking things are going well, my dreams tend to get shattered pretty quickly. And yeah, it happened last night. They were shattered.
A shattered dream for every movie star.
I spoke to her 3 times yesterday and she just wants to get on the phone and she just wants to have me on there, but it's like we're not talking. She wants to tell me what she wants for books and this and that, which is fine. And I did order her 3 books and had it sent there, and she wants to come up with the list of more things she wants me to drop off. That's fine, I get it. But she thought maybe she'd get out next week, and I'm thinking, seriously? She's still thinking she's moving to Vegas, and she got really mad at me because I told somebody where she was. Somebody, well, she doesn't even know. It's a friend of mine's nephew, and I had gone to Key West. He had met my daughter once, but they never really talked. And so when I was in Key West, she was going to this facility. And so I was on the phone a lot, and I didn't really have a choice. Yes, I told them what was going on. I mean, that I'm on the phone in a car with them. And to be honest, it didn't even faze me to say it. I wasn't ashamed of it, and I didn't really think she'd be ashamed of it, considering some of the things she's posted online. People know. I don't have to say a darn thing. It is pretty obvious. And then when she goes off the grid for months at a time, I'm pretty sure people kind of figure it out because they've all seen bizarre posts coming and then off the grid. And then regular posts turn a little more bizarre and then off the grid. So it's a pattern. But she wants to blame me for people knowing. And I said, listen, you need to take accountability for some of this. I did apologize. I tried to explain the circumstance, but I can't share her story. It's her story. I get it. But
It's my story, too.
so I go back and forth with this. But anyway, she has no insight. Her little I'm doing so well song and dance lasted about this long yesterday, but the problem is she's getting close to her discharge date and there is no insight whatsoever. And that just scares me a lot. And I don't know what to do. I wish somebody could just help me behind the scenes without putting her name in it because she's just not ready for that. I get being embarrassed and ashamed and whatever. But what's really interesting is that she's not embarrassed or ashamed of all the actions she's done to hurt people. And I brought that up. I was like, you've hurt so many people and you still want to blame me. Like, you need to take accountability. You are an adult. If you think you're getting out of this hospital, I don't think you should get out until you take accountability and you apologize for the hurt you've caused.
Own that shit. Own it. What do you think was gonna happen?
Even if you caused it under psychosis or whatever, you chose to use the drug that caused that. I'm sorry. Yes, there's a mental illness there. I get that. You're not at fault for your mental illness, but you are at fault for choosing a drug that causes it to become dangerous, or you know what I'm saying. You're choosing the drug that triggers the illness, if that's what it is, or is it just cannabis-induced psychosis? I don't know. Whatever it is, it's triggered by that. She's not getting it. She actually told me last night, she'd come live with me, but she's not going to accept any services, and she wants to find a job trimming weed. And it's like, what? Are you that out of touch? Like, seriously, you're actually suggesting this?
Oh, you gotta be fucking kidding me.
No, you're not living with me. No. after the hell we've been through, if you think you're going to come live with me and do that. And I said, you would have to have services if you lived with me and you'd have to stop using the drugs. And she's not going to. So I'm back at square one. One step forward, two steps back, my friends, but we're going to keep pushing. We're going to keep trying. And I'm late, so I will talk to you later.
A few hours later.
It's the first sunny day in quite some time, which is lovely. But I gotta say, I haven't had the best day, work-wise or kid-wise. So we had the treatment team meeting yesterday, and they sent me the paperwork today to sign, and I didn't sign it yet. I read through it, and I agreed with most all of it except for one piece, which was the substance use piece. So the person that's working with her for substance abuse wrote that due to no records of substance abuse history or insufficient records of a substance abuse history or co-occurring disorders, I can't make a recommendation.
My patients generally expect when coming into an appointment with me that I'm aware of all of the details of their case, even the things that have happened a few years back.
What really irked me is due to not having any records or history of this, right? And every single hospitalization has been a co-occurring. That's why she's in there for cannabis use and whatever disorder or diagnosis they give her. I don't know. I don't really know, but I honed in on that and I'm not signing it till I say something about that. I wrote something about how can you not have record when you have pages and pages and pages of records that talk just about that. Not to mention, I've given you names and numbers of all the providers that you could talk to about that. What it feels like to me is they're not looking at her medical records. Either they haven't printed them and put them in her record, or I don't know. And to me, her record should have the list of names I gave them for references as to her issues.
Maybe one day you'll get off your ass and do your fucking job.
I need you to leave.
And I hate doing this. It's like, I feel like I'm trying to keep my kid in the hospital, and in some sense I am, but it's only to keep her safe because I see what happens when she's out. It is completely unsafe. I'm not talking about, oh, she makes some poor choices. I mean, it goes beyond that. When you are walking around town without clothing, like wearing a bra or whatever, in the winter, come on, guys. Like, what the? It just boggles my mind. But because they don't see it, because it took so long to get her into this facility, they haven't seen the psychosis. And my God, if they did, they'd be horrified. Probably not horrified, because they probably see that all the time. So in comparison to the other people that they see, they're like, there's nothing wrong with this girl. But read the records. The records are what's going to tell you.
Maybe one day you'll get off your ass and do your fucking job.
That's how I feel. So that just, I don't know, irked me. Because I'm so emotional about it, I decided not to send it until I can process a little more. I get so emotional about this stuff, and then I say things, and then I'm like, oh, I shouldn't have said that, or I should have said that. So I really do need to process it, and I'm going to have 3 days to process it because we have a 3-day weekend, thank God. So, yeah. That, and then work. I work at a horrid place, I'm not going to lie, and I'm really only keeping this job until I can move down south, but I really need to find a remote job where I can do that. And I've been so absorbed in my daughter and trying to get her life figured out. My life is taking a total back seat, and I know I shouldn't do that, but I do. I don't feel comfortable making plans for a move or anything until I get her settled and my energy is gone. So when I get home, I have no energy to be looking for jobs, and I need to do that. I really need to do that. So I'm sure I'm not the only one that feels like that their loved one's illness has taken over their whole life. And yeah. So I'm gonna go inside and unwind. And I have a list of things that I need to drop off to my daughter. Thankfully, it's a pretty short list. And I get to talk to her on Sunday, but I'm not going to answer the phone before Sunday because I wash my hands of it. And I'm just not engaging anymore after last night. So happy weekend, and I'll talk to you guys later.